Believe in yourself. Believe that you're going to keep doing what is necessary to be better tomorrow than you are today, and do it. You can't just believe and sit around. You got to believe, and then you got to make the sacrifices and do the things that are necessary. You got to choose your goals, you got to set your boundaries, and then you got to do it. You can't just choose your goals, set your boundaries, and sit on the couch and binge watch Netflix. You got to determine your goals, set your boundaries, and do it. Hey, what's up, guys? Levi Heaton III. Hola, ¿cómo estás? ¿Qué onda? Mi nombre es Levi Heaton III. Ni hao, budamin dushi Levi Heaton III. Assalamu alaikum. It's my Levi Heaton III. Namaste. Miran he Levi Heaton III. Здравствуйте. Меня зовут Levi Heaton III. Haters are quitters. All the people that are putting out negativity, everyone that is just trying to bring you down, they're insecure, they're cowards, and they're quitters. They're insecure about themselves. They don't want to acknowledge their own faults, and they're afraid that if they do, they're going to be seen as weak. You have to be willing, you have to be conscientious, you have to have enough self-confidence to be able to look at yourself and to see your inefficiencies and your deficiencies and to be able to upgrade them. You have to be able to look at yourself and determine where you are weak and determine what you need to do to fix that. Make your weakness a strength. Whenever you see something about yourself that isn't up to snuff, isn't as strong as you want it to be, focus on that thing until it becomes a strength. Improve it. Haters don't want to do that. Haters are cowards. They're afraid to acknowledge their weaknesses. They can't even look inside themselves to acknowledge their weaknesses. They spend their lives trying to hide them and cover them up. And one way that they do that is by bullying others. It makes them feel better if they can feel like someone else is less than them. That's where slavery came from. That's where hunting comes from. People hunt, they go out and kill because it makes them feel manly, because they're insecure about themselves. They don't feel manly. So when they go out and kill an animal, it makes them feel manly. I'm not a supporter of hunting for sport. Now, I was in the United States Army Infantry. I spent my life, the government spent millions of dollars training me to kill. Okay, so I don't want to be a hypocrite, but I've grown. For a long time there, when I joined the infantry because I was insecure and I felt like I needed to prove to everyone that I was a man. And then towards the end of my military career, I realized I don't got to prove shit to anybody. The whole time, I wasn't trying to prove to anyone else that I was a man. I was trying to prove to myself that I was a man. I was trying to prove to myself that I was a badass. And then one day I realized, what the hell? I am a badass. Who am I trying to prove it to? I am. My whole life, I've been training in martial arts, training in weapons, learning. I learn everything I can. I read constantly. When I watch YouTube videos, 99% of the videos I watch are to educate myself. When I write a book about a certain character or a certain plot, one of the main pillars of being a successful author is to write about what you know. And then I've heard several successful authors say that you don't have to become an expert, you just have to graze over the top of the subject enough to where you can convince your reader that you know what you're talking about. I don't do that. I become an expert, okay? If I have a character who's got some neurological disorders, I'll read 10 books about those disorders. I will become an expert. I don't take notes. I read so much that I become an expert. I read 10, 15 books. I just keep putting it into my head, I reinforce it. This is what I've done my entire life. I reinforce my knowledge, reinforce everything I learn. I believe this makes me a badass. Who is better than someone who is willing to acknowledge all of their faults, who's willing to look inside themselves at their insecurities and their inefficiencies and their deficiencies, and I'll talk openly about them. And that's caused me problems over my life because people get uncomfortable when you're open with your, when you have enough self-confidence to talk openly about your insecurities and your inefficiencies, people freak out. People get scared. They do not want that because they're afraid you're going to expect them to do that. So when I learned that I don't have to prove myself to anyone, and when I learned I don't have to prove myself to myself, you just have to believe in yourself. You don't have to prove yourself to anyone or to yourself. You just have to believe in yourself. When you see a weakness, fix it. Believe in yourself. Believe that you're going to keep doing what is necessary to be better tomorrow than you are today, and do it. You can't just believe and sit around. You got to believe, and then you got to make the sacrifices and do the things that are necessary. You got to choose your goals, you got to set your boundaries, and then you got to do it. You can't just choose your goals, set your boundaries, and sit on the couch and binge watch Netflix. You got to determine your goals, set your boundaries, and do it. So haters don't want to see you succeed, because if they see, especially the haters who grew up with you or who are close to you, in your family, in your sphere of influence, they're afraid if you succeed you're going to leave them. And if you succeed and all this time they thought whatever they thought about you, and then it turns out that you could be successful, two things will happen. Either they will think less of themselves because they're insecure, they'll get more down on themselves on the inside, not on the outside. They're not going to show anybody. Or they'll make up excuses about how you did it. You slept your way to the top. You had this connection that they don't have. Somebody gave you some money, because they don't want to acknowledge that they could have done it too. They don't want to acknowledge that if they would have worked harder, if they would have faced their insecurities, if they would have determined their inefficiencies and their deficiencies and worked on improving them, they could have succeeded too. They could be where you are. They don't want to do that. They don't want you to succeed. They want to hold you back. They don't want you to leave them. They don't want you to show them up. Haters are cowards. You are gonna have to learn to remove toxic people from your life. You can, if they're important to you, you can tell them what your boundaries are. Once you determine your goals and your boundaries, you can inform these people, look, these are my boundaries. When you set your boundaries, you can't have any particular person in mind. You got to set your boundaries. This is the rules that govern my life, of other people that want to be in my life. If somebody wants to be in my life, this is how they're going to have to behave. And they are not ever going to be able to tell me I am not going to succeed at my goal. Anyone I allow into my life, into my sphere of influence, must believe in me. They must support my goal. They must know that I am going to achieve it, that I'm going to do whatever is necessary to get there. And when I get to a weak point, when I have a failure, when I make a mistake and I'm at a learning point, if I come to them for advice or suggestions, they're going to build me up, not knock me down. Anyone who does not abide by those boundaries cannot stay in my life. They go. You need to set those same boundaries for yourself. And sometimes it's hard, because the people that you love the most, the people that have been in your life the longest, they don't want to change. They don't care. They are who they are. They've known you your whole life. They're not going to change just because you decided that you're going to go off on some fantastical journey. You're going to all of a sudden achieve your goals. You're going to go live in your car, or live in a tent, or live in your office, all this pathetic, ridiculous stuff that to chase some flamboyant teenager's goal and life dreams when you're this particular age, and you should be working at McDonald's or Walmart or Lowe's or a bank or a factory, and you should be buying a house. They're not going to change just to support you. You're just being ridiculous and pathetic. Guess what? That person's gone. That person's gone out of your life. Mom, dad, brother, sister, cousin, best friend. If that's your spouse, sorry to tell you, if that's your spouse, you need to get a divorce. You've been in an abusive relationship, and now that you've discovered yourself and discovered your goals, and you've realized that you need to pursue you need to get out of that abusive relationship. Anyone who puts you down, anyone who does not support you and believe you and build you up, needs to go. Haters are insecure cowards, and there is no room in your life for insecurity or hate or cowardice. You need support and faith. That's all you need. Believe in yourself, and surround yourself with people who believe in you and support you. Surround yourself with people who, when you fall down and it hurt bad that time, you gave it everything you had. And I remember one time when I was probably my first or second business. I was, 24, 25. My second son had just been born. I thought I made it. I thought this is it. I made it. I'm gonna be rich. I'm gonna be successful for the rest of my life. And then my wife had some medical problems, and I lost everything. And I remember sitting in my truck in the driveway, bawling my eyes out, because I thought I made it. I thought I was there. I thought I arrived. Like, I thought the struggle was over. I'm here. Now I just need to maintain, keep growing, but maintain. I lost it all, and it hurt. And unfortunately, I didn't have anyone to help me get back up. I had a wife who beat me down. I had a wife who told me how much of a loser piece of shit I was constantly. You need people in your life when you get to that low point. They're gonna be like, hey man, I'm really, I know that hurts. That hurt. Feel you. Feel that pain. Let me help you stand back up, because I know you're gonna get through this, and I know you're gonna conquer this. And I know in a month or a year or 2 years or 5 years, you're gonna look back on this as a life lesson. I know you will succeed. Those are the people you need in your life. Not haters, not insecure people, not cowards. You need compassionate, empathetic, positive, supportive people in your life. You need people who've already achieved what you're trying to achieve, and you need people who are on their own path towards achieving their goals, but are not negative. Throw a like on my video, please. Throw a comment down there. Let me know what you think about these videos. If you got any suggestions for videos, like and follow my page, subscribe to my channel, click that bell for notifications. If you're watching this on Facebook, make sure you go into your Facebook watch, click that you want to see all my videos. Make sure you go up to the top of my page and click on the follow button, and make sure you click see all. Thanks a lot, everybody. I appreciate your support.